Hello, fabulous friends and fans. Welcome to Synchronicity University. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah, and this is a lesson on the Ascendant in Cancer. So think about the energy of Cancer, the symbolism of Cancer, right? It has to do with a crab, and the crab has a protective shell to hide the more sensitive aspects underneath. And what I have found with certain signs, there is a very strong duality, and that includes the sign of Cancer. And so these will be people who are especially interested in having a persona that is very distinct and different from whatever emotional reality is taking place within them. The energy of Cancer ultimately is about learning through the emotions, and some very strong emotions sometimes, to separate fear from intuition. So that's part of the learning, and that's part of the process that they're going through. And as part of that, they are going to have to learn to protect themselves, or else it would just, constantly look like lots of shifting waves. So they learn to take on a persona sometimes, especially in early life. The persona can be party girl. I've seen that. The persona can sometimes be party girl. The persona sometimes in early life can be someone, I think about the whole blonde ambition thing, right? They have the ambition, but they also want to tap into that very feminine archetype at the same time. So these are ways in which the persona is sort of set. Now, I did say party girl, but this also implies for guys as well. But it manifests a little bit differently, I found, with men who have a Cancer rising. It tends to be more like, okay, I value women. That's sort of the persona that they take on. I value the women in my life. I like strong women. And they tend to align themselves with women who appear very strong, especially in very early life. So Cancer rising, these are people whose weight can fluctuate. It's one of the signs given to weight fluctuations on the Ascendant, because as the moon fluctuates, as the waves of water fluctuate, so does the water in the body as well. So they can sometimes be a little bit prone to retaining water. Anyone with a water ascendant would do well with drinking water to keep their system sort of flushed out. I know it's kind of a universal, but especially if you've got a water ascendant, if only for the appearance, to keep the appearance leaner than it might otherwise be. With Cancer ascendant, these people can come across cautious, a little shy when they're first getting into any new atmosphere. Either that, or as I said, either it'll be like all out boisterous, or it'll be a little bit reserved. It'll be a little bit held back. It'll be a little bit shy. And as part of that, they can appear to be very sensitive. They can appear even to be caring, intuitive, emotional as well. Now, Cancer rising types, I found like people with strong Cancer energy in the chart, whether it's the sun, the moon, or the rising sign, they tend to have very interesting relationships with the main maternal figures in their life. So it tends to be a stronger bond. It tends to be a more complicated bond, especially considering what other planets might be doing to that given ascendant, what planets might be in the sign of Cancer as well. But it tends to be a little bit more complicated, so they are learning to separate themselves from the main maternal figure over, especially in the early life, and then eventually they do sort of come into their own. But that relationship tends to be an interesting area of growth. It is for a lot of people, but especially if you've got some really strong Cancer in your chart, as you would with a very strong Cancer rising. Now, with these people, they can look like the moon, really. So their face can look like a moon. They've got very big, prominent eyes. Round faces can be round to oval faces tend to be dominant as well. And the skin can appear downright creamy, just like very creamy and smooth. Sometimes a little bit sensitive as well. It can be prone to some sensitivity, as is the case for Cancer rising as well. But for the most part, rosy cheeks all around. Well, thank you so much for watching this video on the rising sign in Cancer for more lessons and video scopes and interviews with amazing astrologers and so much more. Check out my YouTube channel and synchronicityuniversity.com. Until we connect again, take care. Thank you for watching this lesson as part of Synchronicity University. You can go online at synchronicityuniversity.com or click on your screen if you're on YouTube right now to access even more video lessons, to access horoscopes, interviews with some of the most amazing astrologers in the world, and so much more.